Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sister. The message reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My name is Titi, not a real name. I am a woman who is aged 36 years old. I am currently living here in Harare, Zimbabwe. I have my own confession that I want to make, one that has been weighing heavily on my heart for a couple of years now. What I have done, and the worst part about it, I do go to church and I also sing in the praise and worship, and I continue to do this. It has brought me nothing but pain and regret, yet I find myself trapped in a cycle that I can't even seem to break. It all started when I was in my early 20s. Like most women, I had a dream. I had a dream of finding true love, getting married, and after I would have gotten married, to start my own small beautiful family. But as the years went by, my dreams began to crumble. No matter how hard I would try, I could not conceive a child. The first time that I got married, my husband and I, we met in Harare. He also came from a good family, a good Christian family. But what I realized is that when you are married, like when people see that you can't conceive, even though they are strong Christians, but they will quickly forget that they are strong Christians, then they'll start to mistreat you. My mother-in-law, she mistreated me so badly. She even told her own son that it was far much better for him to marry a second wife. So he did. When he married a second wife, then my mother-in-law told him that he was supposed to take me to the villages as if I was now their domestic worker. I was then taken to the villages. Worst of all, this woman who became my husband's second wife, she came. Within 2 months, she was pregnant. My heart was shattered. I cried unto God. I kept on crying unto him, and I said, why are you punishing me? There was even one point in time when it was raining, and I said, now that it is raining, maybe if I go outside, if I pray during this rain, if I pray while it is raining like this, maybe God is going to show me mercy. But then I saw that God is not a merciful God. He does not show you mercy when you want him to show you mercy. The rain poured down on me when I was praying, but my situation did not change. I stayed in the villages until I saw that I was getting old. My husband, whenever he would come, he would refuse to make love to me. And if he would make love to me, he would say that he would have to use your protection because he was scared that I was going to give him some HIV or some STI. That is how hard life became. And I was like, how am I going to conceive when you are sleeping with me with a condom? And he was like, all the time when I was staying with you in the city, why could you not conceive? You can't conceive. Can't you just accept that? So I started visiting countless healers and prophets, like I was being told by some women that I was befriending in the villages. Nothing was working at all. And most of the people, they made it really worse. I felt incomplete, less of a woman. And once a woman feels as if she is no longer a woman that is loved by her husband, that is when she will become dangerous, and bitterness was growing inside of me. By the time that I reached my 30s, the desperation had taken over. I watched as my friends and relatives got married, started their own families, whilst I remained alone. The loneliness was just too much for me. It was quite unbearable. I began to resent the women that were around me who had what I longed for, a husband, children, a family. I started to believe that I would never have those things in life, and that belief turned into something that was dark and twisted. That was when I met a woman who was a Mbare, who claimed that she could help me. She was a traditional healer, known for her powerful charms, desperate, and she was bitter. I went to her not for help with my barrenness, but for something else. I wanted the attention of married men. Those were the ones that I wanted. I did not care about these single guys, because I knew that once a single guy, if I'll start to date one, then the guy will say, I want to marry you. The next thing is, I want a child by you. I wanted at least a man who was already married, the one that I could not have when I was still with my husband. I wanted to prove myself that I could still be desired, that I could take away the happiness that I was denied. The healer gave me charms, portions and instructions. She warned me that what I was doing would bring nothing but sorrow, but I did not care. I was blinded by my own pain. I was blinded by my own jealousy. I used those charms to seduce men that were married, one after the other. It was easy, quite too easy. The charms made me irresistible, and I have some markings that were made on my private parts, and before long I was involved with several married men. All of them, they captivated me, but the satisfaction, it was just too much. Every time I saw the pain and confusion in the eyes of their wives, I really celebrated. Instead of me feeling a pang of guilt like a witch, I celebrated. I buried it deep inside, convincing myself that I was justified, that I deserved to have something, anything, even if it was stolen from someone else. As time went on, the men I had ensnared began to lose everything. Money, health, this is what happens to anyone that dates me. You might be rich, but when I dump you, you will be like really poor. Even your family, they would have rejected you. The charms that had brought them to me would be cursing them. Once you do not have money, the charms will start to curse you. One by one, they will start to lose their businesses. Some will have some accidents with their cars, broken spines, broken legs, and this made me to feel lonely. And the more that I felt lonely, the more that I would find the next victim, because I am scared of being lonely, and I want your listeners to assist me, because the moment that I feel lonely, that is when I am really dangerous, because I will tell myself that I need to replace this loneliness with a man. I don't know what exactly am I supposed to do to accept that, yes, it is okay in your life for once to be lonely, to think about yourself, but I always want a man by myself, but I always want a man by my side. Now I am 36, I am childless, I am still alone, even though I am still dating all of these countless guys that I do date, and I am still consumed by the bitterness. And this bitterness is all about what my ex-husband did to me, what my mother-in-law, who pretended to be a good Christian, did to me. I don't know, is there any way that I can heal these wounds? Because all that I have done by hurting all of these people that I have been hurting all of these years, they have deepened the wounds when I thought I was healing myself. I don't know if I can ever be forgiven for what I have done. The men that I have ensnared, most of them, they have moved on. They have lost their women that loved them. They have lost their businesses, lost their cars, and others, they are trying to piece their lives back together. And I do not know what exactly am I supposed to do. I keep on using these charms. It is like these charms that I have been using, they are the ones that are using me now, because I have lost all self-control. If you are my friend, if you introduce me to your husband, the next thing that I will do is that I will be scheming and plotting and finding a way to steal your husband away from you. This is what I have been doing over the years, and still I can't conceive, and this makes me to become even more bitter. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. That was the translation of the message that she sent to me. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.